Hello and welcome to another edition of the Google Apps tutorial presented by SmartHR. In this episode we're going to do a quick start on Google Hangouts. For the folks who maybe haven't used that before or are unfamiliar with it, we're going to go ahead and familiarize you with the whole setup and what it takes to use Hangouts. So let's go ahead and get started with the system requirements for using Hangouts. As far as operating systems go, it's going to be your typical Windows, Mac, or Chrome operating systems, and a few Linux ones as well. For browsers to use, you're going to want to, I would recommend Chrome as it's a Google product, so obviously it's going to integrate very nicely with Hangouts. And Chrome also has an extension and a desktop version of the app. You can also use Internet Explorer, Safari, or Mozilla Firefox. These are going to require some additional plugins to be installed when it comes to our next part, which is accessing the camera and the microphone. You'll need either a device that has a webcam built in or a USB webcam if you're going to want to do video calling, and the same for microphone. And again, that's going to require some additional plugins for non-Chrome browsers. The last thing and the most important thing you're going to need in order to be able to utilize Chrome is a Google Apps account or a Google account. This can be signed up for very quickly and easily and doesn't require you to use a new email. You can use your current email and things like that. So first things first, let's go ahead and show you how that can be done. You can see that this is going to be the Hangouts interface. We'll get to that in a little bit. You can create an account at accounts.google.com/sign-up. That will take you to create your Google account page. And now here you can see the form that is needed to fill out. The key part being where it says choose your username and it has a Gmail domain. Instead, choose to use your current email address, and this will attach that account to whichever email address you're using. Fill out the rest of the form and proceed with the sign up. And once you've done that, you'll be able to utilize Google Hangouts. So let's talk a little bit about what Hangouts can do now that we know what it takes to use it. Hangouts allows us to enter into Hangout conversations or chats with fellow users. We can also make video calls or phone calls. The phone calls can be made over Wi-Fi or a data connection. You can send text messages or share media such as videos, pictures, emojis, things like that. There are a few different ways we can access Hangouts as well, and this is an important part of learning how to use it. The first being through the web browser, as you can see here. That is going to be found at the URL hangouts.google.com. This can be accessed in Chrome, Internet Explorer, Mozilla, Safari, things like that. Hangouts also integrates directly with Gmail. We'll go ahead and show you now that integration. If you have a Gmail, you can access Hangouts from that. We can see my Gmail here. And if you look in the lower right hand corner, currently I have the Hangouts gadget enabled, and it's automatically enabled in Gmail. You can check a couple videos that we made on this series on Gmail settings if you're having trouble getting that to work. And you can directly chat or start a video call right from Gmail here. Another way that you can access Hangouts is through, again, that Chrome extension that we talked about. I don't have mine enabled right here, but there can be a Chrome extension that can click and launch the app. And lastly, the desktop extension as well. And that's what this is going to look like right here. That's just another version of Hangouts that you can access. And I said lastly, but I was incorrect. There's a couple more ways you can do it. That desktop app can be accessed via your apps in Chrome. And Hangouts also integrates with another app that is not part of the core Google Apps services, but it's called Inbox by Gmail. You'll see in the upper right hand corner of this app here is where Hangouts is going to integrate, and that's very similar to the Gmail integration where a list of contacts or users is provided for you to message. So those are a few of the different ways that we can access Hangouts. I'm just going to hop over into Internet Explorer here and show you what it looks like. As you can see, I've used the URL hangouts.google.com to get to the interface, and this is where you're going to need to sign in. So I'll go ahead and do that with a pre-created email that's been connected to Google Apps. And once you sign in, you're going to see your official interface. And we can talk a little bit now about the important aspects of using this. If you've been invited to a Hangout or are using it for meetings or video conferencing, you can find those invites under this More tab and under Invites. Any current invitations that you have are going to be listed here. If you want to start a video call, you can do so by clicking Video Call. And as you can see, it's asking us to install the Hangouts plugin because we're using Internet Explorer. So we'll go ahead and do so. Give that a few seconds here. Alright, our installation is complete. It is verifying. And I believe it prompted us into this extra window that we do not need. So I'm going to go back to our old one and again click Video Call here. There we go. So first things first here in the Internet Explorer interface, you can invite people using this Invite People button here and by entering their contact name or email address. There's also a link that's available you can copy to share. This interface is a little bit different than the Google Chrome one. We'll check that one out in a minute. I want to draw your attention over to the Settings tab here. Frequent issues with Hangouts are not being able to hear fellow users or them not being able to hear you. This is going to be the first place you're going to want to check if you're having any issues hearing or seeing someone. This is where you can toy around with your microphone settings, make sure you have the right microphone. You can do some sound tests, make sure you have the right speakers, check how your bandwidth is doing, things like that. So let's go ahead and hop over into the Chrome interface now. And we can get you familiarized with that too. Very similar. If we enter into a call here, it just looks a little different. It prompts you first to this page, which shows you a list of scheduled Hangouts if you have them. If not, and you want to just start one, we can just go ahead and name one here. It will join that video call. And again, we see a couple options for inviting people. There's this icon up on top. There's a blue button here to invite people, and there's a link that you can share to anyone who'd like it. One more thing I want to show you in the invite here is a dial pad icon. You can invite people to join the call via telephone. And again, in our Settings tab, that's where we can find our microphone and webcam and speaker settings. If you're having any issues with sound or voice, I recommend you go here first. And that basically wraps it up for our quick start on Hangouts here. If you have any other questions, I recommend using Google's search engine. They have a great deal many resources out there regarding Hangouts and things like that. So I hope that Hangouts really helps to improve your day-to-day workflow. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.